And welcome to Reviews That Scare with Jess and Blair. I'm Jess.
I'm Blair.
Blair, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Yourself?
I'm doing very, very well. Thank you very much for asking.
Oh, but of course.
A little late with this week's episode, but alas, life happens.
Oh, man. We're getting bad at this.
we're getting, we got to cut ourselves some slack. Tis the season.
Tis the season.
It is our first film of December, aka Body Horror Month, and we have a fun one to talk about today. One we've been actually wanting to do for a while. It kind of will pop up every once in a while for different categories and just never makes the grade. But today it did. Before we talk about it, though, what do you say we chat a little bit about some horror news?
This is horror news.
Blairski, you want to kick this off?
Only one thing, and Jesse, it's a little bit of self-promotion for us. Me and you got our creative juices flowing.
We did.
A short teaser trailer for a concept we are calling Serial Killer. If you guys want to check it out, it's on our YouTube. The title is Serial Killer Trailer, because it's technically not a trailer. It's a trailer to a trailer. But it's something we did for fun. We were feeling creative and we had a blast doing it. So definitely please check it out.
We sure did. And hopefully it will lead to us making a trailer to the trailer.
That was it. We originally talked about making a trailer and we're like, well, let's test our waters with a trailer first.
Trailer to the trailer. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, I got a couple here. This week, Sony released the official poster for the upcoming 28 Years Later. Very cool poster. And apparently 28 Years Later is supposed to be the first in a brand new trilogy.
Interesting. That's the one they filmed entirely with an iPhone, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, rock and roll. Danny Boyle back directing this one, and the movie is set to be released June 20th, 2025. A nice little June zombie movie, shall we?
I'll be watching it. I love that series.
And then news on the reboot front, as I Know What You Did Last Summer has officially begun production, set to be released July 18th, 2025. It will see the return of Freddie Prinze Jr. and potentially Jennifer Love Hewitt. Nothing confirmed as of yet.
I haven't heard that confirmed. They did also release a poster. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
It's pretty cool, man. It's just a close-up of the hook.
Oh, cool.
You know, the killer's hook. It's pretty cool.
Excellent. That's all I have for horror news. Short, but yet sweet.
Very sweet.
So what do you say we jump into this week's episode? The first of Body Horror Month goes to 1981's An American Werewolf in London. Runtime on this one, 1 hour, 37 minutes. Blairski, initial thoughts on the runtime?
Fine by me, man. Fine by me.
Yeah, absolutely. Right in the sweet spot. Yeah. There were scenes that could have been even longer, in my opinion. Hint, hint, the transformation scene. We'll talk about it later. Before we do that, what do you say we chat about some fun facts?
Fun facts. Facts that are fun.
Blairski, you got some fun facts for An American Werewolf in London?
The first draft of the screenplay for this film was written in 1969 and then shelved for over a decade, which is wild to me. The film won the 1981 Saturn Award for Best Horror Film and won the inaugural Academy Award for Best Makeup, which was won by Rick Baker. Fantastic work. We'll talk about it later for sure. Finally, the title, An American Werewolf in London, is actually a cross between An American in Paris and A Werewolf in London.
Excellent. Yeah. Very, very cool. An American in Paris, I believe Gene Kelly, has a great tap dancing routine.
Oh, really? I haven't seen either of those.
Yeah, rock and roll. I wanted to add on to the Academy Award makeup. I just wanted to point out that a year before, in 1980, The Elephant Man came out. A movie that, if the award was around, it would have won. But anyways.
Do you know who did the makeup for that?
I don't. But it was John Hurt who played the Elephant Man. Okay. And we love John Hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a couple of fun facts here. This is John Landis's favorite film of his.
Okay.
rock and roll.
Yeah, right on.
And then finally, Rick Baker spent months working on the mechanism used for the face-changing transformation.
Okay.
Great scene.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm out of breath from running up the stairs. Good gracious. The particular shot lasted 7 seconds, and Rick Baker thought it was a complete waste of time until he heard the reaction from the audience.
Good, right on. That must feel
I was
so
like,
good.
all right, that's all worth it. Oh, 100%.
Plus winning an Academy Award for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Unreal. This one, let's talk about the fine folks, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
This one directed by John Landis, also directed 1978's National Lampoon's Animal House, 1980's The Blues Brothers, 1983's Trading Places, 1983's Twilight Zone, the movie, 1988's Coming to America, and the iconic music video for Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Pretty cool.
What a list of movies.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, man. Lots of comedies in there.
Yeah, and I mean, those are key comedies from the 70s and 80s, arguably the golden age for comedy movies, some might say.
Yeah.
This one, also written by John Landis, wrote 1980's The Blues Brothers, and the story for one of my all-time favorites, 1985's Clue.
Really?
Loved. Oh man,
I know you love Clue. I know you love it. I didn't know he wrote it though. That's crazy.
He did indeed. That is one of the funniest movies of all time. Okay, let's talk about the fine folks who acted in this movie. They were great. We'll talk about it later. David Naughton as David also starred in Amityville: A New Generation and appeared in such television shows as Seinfeld, Murder, She Wrote, MacGyver, 44 episodes of My Sister Sam, The Love Boat, Melrose Place, and Jag. Blair, you like Jag, don't you?
You know what? My parents watched Jag growing up. I remember
Big Jag fans. Okay.
Jag and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh my goodness. What a time to be alive. Also starring Jenny Agutter as Alex. She starred in 113 episodes of Call the Midwife. My wife loves that show. She says she is very, very, very good in it.
Okay.
Also starred in one episode of Red Dwarf, Child's Play 2, 1976's Logan's Run, and 1971's Walkabout. Also starring Griffin Dunn as Jack, starred in 2021's The French Dispatch, War Machine, Dallas Buyers Club, 1991's My Girl, terribly sad movie, and directed the segment Veronica in movie 43.
Okay.
I believe that one was with Emma Stone.
There's a lot of people in movie 43 for sure.
There's a lot going on in that movie.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is.
Okay, synopsis courtesy of our dear friends at IMDb. Blairski, I'm going to preface this by saying this might be the worst synopsis I've ever heard.
We've had some bad ones, man.
Yeah, well, you just wait.
Okay.
American college student David Kessler and Jack Goodman on a walking tour of Britain are attacked by a werewolf that none of the locals will admit exists. Jack dies. David recovers in hospital where he has nightmares.
Well, thanks for giving that part away of Jack dying. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's been out since 1981.
I know, it's still. Is that the same synopsis when it was released, though?
I guarantee you it was not. Yeah, that was put on the poster, actually.
Jack dies.
Yeah, that was. I'm wondering if it had to have been user submitted, because that is a brutal synopsis.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay, this leads us to one of our favorite segments of the show, Kill Count.
Kill count. The time of the show we count the kills.
Blairski, do we have a kill count for an American Werewolf in London?
We have a kill count somewhere between 23 and 27, depending if you want to count the dream sequences or not.
Sure.
But a high kill count nonetheless, in the 20s for sure.
Very high kill count with only really one perpetrator of the violence.
Yeah.
You know? Okay. This leads us to another one of our favorite segments, likes and dislikes. Likes. Dislikes. Likes. Dislikes. and everything in between. The portion of the show where we talk about what we liked, or what we didn't like, and everything in between. Blairski, I mean, there's only really one place to start with likes and dislikes, and it's the makeup and special effects work in this movie.
It is, especially that transformation scene. So I have never seen this movie before. I have heard so much about that scene.
Yeah.
Just from other fans, people who have watched it, just the horror community. And I was pleasantly surprised. It was even better than I thought it was going to be.
Lived up to, exceeded expectations.
Especially from 1981, man. That movie is over 40 years old.
Way ahead of its time.
Way ahead of its time, man. So good. So well done.
I agree. Not only in that scene, I mean, that scene, rightfully so, I think steals the thunder from the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, the makeup work throughout, I mean, Jack's character decaying throughout the movie.
So cool.
So cool. I mean, that scene in the theater at the end where his face is pretty much just falling off.
There's apparently a scene that they cut out of it that features Jack, I think, eating a sandwich or something, and it falls out through his neck. They should have totally kept that in.
Why didn't they keep it? I loved it. I mean, the special effects. There is not enough we can say about how great the special effects and makeup work is on. We love it so much.
On the same topic, it's actually one of the only, I have 2 dislikes, and this is one of them. I wish we saw more of the werewolf in full form. That's the only thing. They do a great job showing the transformation almost beginning to end. It's fantastic. But after that, you hardly see him.
Yeah, I mean, it's always like we wake up right with David, where it's just like we see the transformation. Next thing we know, we're naked inside the
zoo,
the London Zoo with a bunch of wolves. It's like, how did I get here? We didn't see any of the. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, I just really wanted to see the werewolf in its entirety,
Which, I mean, again, gives props to the makeup and special effects. It was that cool. We just wanted to see more of it.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I just wanted to see it again.
No, I agree 100%. Okay, I love my soundtracks, you know it. And this one, I mean, it's pretty good, man. And every single song had something to do with the moon.
It did. And I straight up just wrote fantastic soundtrack. I loved it. Watching the movie, it made me so happy. I love the soundtrack to this movie.
Just a couple songs here. Moon Dance by Van Morrison.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with the Grumpy Irishman. And Bad Moon Rising by CCR.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been a little bit better if they had Werewolves of London by Warren Zevon.
Was that song out there at that time? I can't remember when the song was released, to be honest with you.
I don't know if it was now. I don't know if it was.
Because the song being, I don't know. I'm not too sure.
It might have come out like around that time. Maybe
around the same time. I feel like if it was out already, they would have tried to get the rights to use that song. It would make sense, right?
I mean, Warren Zevon's so cool.
It's so cool.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I really, really dug the soundtrack. I thought it was really tongue in cheek. I thought it fit in with the movie really, really well.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. For how much is going on in this movie with the dream sequences and the villagers, which we'll talk about shortly, I thought the plot was relatively easy to follow.
I had no problem following it at all, to be honest.
Really straightforward.
We've watched and reviewed some movies that were way harder to follow than this one was.
Yeah. And it wasn't until like more pondering that I started getting bothered by a few things. So like, for instance, the dream sequences were a little bizarre.
A little bit, yeah.
Nazi werewolves. It just got weird. And then all of the stuff really with the villagers. I just wish there was more explained.
About the villagers?
About the villagers, what this group is, what this kind of werewolf cult they follow.
Do they have houses? Do they have homes? They're always at the bar.
Who are they? Do they have families?
Yeah, no.
What do they do for fun? Or do they just live in a constant state of terror? We'll never know.
I think so. That's probably why they're at the bar all the time just drinking.
We'll never know. Yeah. But yeah, plot relatively easy to follow. I thought the script was great. It felt really natural. It was funny. You could tell that it was written by John Landis.
Yeah, it was
a
funny.
guy who, knows his way around a comedy movie. Even though this isn't, I would say, a comedy movie, there's definitely a lot of comedic moments.
There's for sure comedic moments. I wouldn't even call it a horror comedy. It's definitely just a horror movie, but
I agree.
It does have a lot of very funny moments in it.
And it's just who the characters are. I think the characters were really well developed. Yeah, it just felt natural. And the performances did as well.
The acting from everyone was really good in this movie, I found.
They all had really nice moments. I mean, David and Alex, their relationship was great. David and Jack, their relationship was great until it obviously wasn't great. But the connection between all of them individually and as a group, really, really strong. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I have one more bad thing to say, unfortunately, about this movie.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the ending. I don't know if it was rushed or if just written bad. I don't know. I didn't like how it ended myself.
And I think that is a common thought around the movie, is that the ending is not its strongest part. I agree.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it doesn't take much away from the rest of the movie. I just wish they found a different way to finish it off.
Yeah, I mean, it is inevitable, but it just still kind of comes out of nowhere, and then it just ends.
It just ends.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. That's all I really have for likes and dislikes.
Me too, buddy.
Yeah, I say we move right along to our next segment of the show. Lessons we learned from watching a 1981's An American Werewolf in London.
Lessons we learned from watching. Insert title of movie here.
The segment of the show where we talk about the valuable life lessons we learned from watching said movie Blairski. Please tell me you learned something.
I learned two things. First off, don't go backpacking in a foreign country without a game plan or at least a map.
Yeah, good call.
Be prepared. Finally, if your deceased friend comes back from the dead to warn you about something bad that is going to happen to your immediate future, listen to those warnings. They probably know something you don't.
Even if your friend is telling you that you have to kill yourself?
Well, yeah, I guess that's
where things get iffy.
Yeah, I guess
he
that's
spends
a tough
the whole
pill to
movie
swallow.
saying, hey, man, if you want me to pass through to the other side, you got to kill yourself.
Yeah, that's true. I guess when I wrote that note, I didn't think about what the friend was asking him to do. But, I mean, he killed 23 plus people by not killing himself.
I mean, enough is enough, right?
Enough's enough, right?
Goodness gracious. I learned a few things here. Keep off the moors and stick to the road, people. The road is there for a living. The road is for the living.
Yes.
And then finally, a pentacle is a 5-point star and is the mark of the werewolf.
So what's a pentagon?
Yes.
Yes.
I believe a pentagon is also a 5-point star. Whether or not it's the mark of a werewolf, we'll never know. Unless we meet a werewolf.
But they're technically the same thing, but a mark for different things.
As we like to say often, same, different.
Same, different.
Yes.
I love it.
Okay, that's all I have for lessons we learned. Let's move right along to our next segment of the show, which is Line of the Night.
Line of the Night. Line of the Night. Line of the Night. Line of the Night. Line of the Night. Line of the Night. Line of the Night. Line of the Night. Line of the Night.
The segment of the show where we discuss our favorite lines from the movie. They might give us chills. They might give us the giggles. All we know is that they are our favorites. Blairski. There's a lot of great lines in this movie. Why don't you kick this off?
There is a lot of funny moments. I've only got 2 written down. Jesse, put on your earmuffs for the first one. David says, Queen Elizabeth is a man. Prince Charles is a Winston Churchill was full of He's saying all this to a Bobby trying to get himself arrested so he doesn't.
Dear Lord. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot, man. The last line I have was said by a little boy who just says, a naked American stole my balloons.
Yeah, great line. Great line for sure. I've got a couple here. It's said several times, remember the Alamo?
Yeah.
There's another one. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying I had to pause the movie and explain to Rachel what the Alamo was.
Yeah. Now, have you ever seen the Alamo with John Wayne?
I have when I was young. I don't remember it too well, but I have seen it.
That, I believe, was a 2 VHS movie.
Yes.
Another line that was said several times, beware the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. David says, Doctor, my memory is fine. It's my sanity I'm beginning to worry about.
Yeah, true that.
And then finally, David says, I will not be threatened by walking meatloaf.
I almost wrote that one down.
Great line.
Yeah.
It's a great line. I love it. I love it. So, yeah. Okay, this leads us to our final segment of the show. Some might even go as far as saying it's our favorite.
Top 5.
Celebrity lookalike time.
Celebrity lookalike time.
The time of the show where we take a look at the cast and discuss their celebrity doppelgangers. Spoiler alert, it usually comes down to the character's hairstyle. Blairski, what do you got for celebrity lookalike time?
Just one for this movie, but I think it's a good one. David himself reminded me a little bit of old school Bruce Campbell. I'm talking original Evil Dead Bruce Campbell. It's the black hair, it's the hairstyle, a little bit of the face, not quite the chin, still pretty resemblance.
He's got the charm. Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, it's there.
David reminded me of a young Sylvester Stallone from Rocky.
Yeah.
But also Al Pacino from A Dog's Day Afternoon.
Not Scarface, though.
No, not quite. No, earlier. Yeah. Dog Day Afternoon. Yeah. Okay, this leads us to our final rating for 1981's An American Werewolf in London. Blairski, out of 5 backpacking trips across Europe with your best bro, ruined by weird villagers and dreams of Nazi werewolves, what are you giving An American Werewolf in London?
First watch for me, Jesse, and I was pleasantly surprised. I'm giving it 4 backpacking trips across Europe with your best bro, ruined by weird villagers and dreams of Nazi werewolves out of 5.
I agree. 4 backpacking trips across Europe with your best bro, ruined by weird villagers and dreams of Nazi werewolves out of 5. This movie's great.
Yeah, it's so good, man. I can't believe it took me this long to watch it, and I finally see what all the hype is about it.
It's so good. It's got, it's got terror. It's got humor. It's got some of the best makeup work you'll ever see. It's great. I love it.
Good kills. Just a subpar ending, but other than that, it's a great movie.
I agree. Great start to the month. Fun movie to start with. Yeah. And it's only up from here because we got some great movies for the rest of the month. Really excited to talk about them. But until then, this has been Reviews That Scare with Jess and Blair. I'm Jess.
I'm Blair. Remember to stay scary.
And eat every sandwich. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to Reviews That Scare. Make sure you check out our Linktree at linktree/reviewsthatscare. That's linktr.ee/reviewsthatscare, which has links to our Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, Twitch, and many other things. If you'd like to email us, you can reach us at reviewsthatscare@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and remember to stay scary and eat every sandwich.